What to do, everyday people, man? We up in this thing, dog. Did I freeze up like Stephen Miller? Looking ass. I guess I froze up like Stephen Miller. We about to get live. Hey, listen. It's Friday night. It's call-in night, right? Hey man, listen, we got a good video for y'all today. We got a good video for y'all today. It's gonna be epic. Y'all wanna hear a player call? Y'all gonna hear a player call. I'm just lying. I ain't gonna let y'all hear it. Alright. No player call, man. But look, we got a great video for y'all tonight, man. It looks like there is trouble on the hill, and I think everybody is having shutdown fatigue. Shutdown fatigue, definitely shutdown fatigue. Listen, with everything that's going on, listen. People still have a brain, okay? And they have a heart. So not only do they have a brain, they have a heart. So we're gonna figure some stuff out tonight. And we're doing live call-ins. I didn't forget. Sometimes I be too tired. Like one weekend, I was sick. Another weekend, I was tired. So we didn't do it. But we did do it like it was Saturday night. We're supposed to do every Friday night. So now, thank you all for watching and tuning in. We definitely about to get it lit. But guess what? First, we're going to talk about MAGA. Okay? MAGA is going crazy with everything that's going on. And this is all because everybody's having shutdown fatigue. So without further ado, let's get into this remix of content. Cause we about to touch on some shiznit. Okay.
I see the shutdown completely different from maybe my party leadership. And I'm not putting the blame on the president. I'm actually putting the blame on the speaker and Leader Thune in the Senate. We control the House. We control the Senate. We have the White House. I've been vocal saying, you can use the nuclear option in the Senate. This doesn't have to be a shutdown. I absolutely support the president. I campaigned for him for years. But I'm also an action person, and I want my party to solve problems.
And you say if he's not getting good advice, though. You told Manu Raju. What specifically?
Well, I don't think it's good advice that a government shutdown is going to help Republicans in the midterms. I don't agree with that. I also don't think it's good advice that Republicans ignoring the health insurance crisis is going to be good for midterms. I actually think that would be very bad for midterms. I see the shut.
Hey, I told y'all, people have brains and they also have heart. But you know what? You know what the lion fought for in The Wizard of Oz? Heart. She got the heart to stand up to the Republicans and Donald Trump. Shout out to Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is my new best friend because she is not bowing down to no dictatorship. If y'all just missed it, should I play it again?
Down completely different from maybe my party leadership. And I'm not putting the blame on the president. I'm actually putting the blame on the speaker and Leader Thune in the Senate. We control the House. We control the Senate. We have the White House. I've been vocal saying, you can use the nuclear option in the Senate. This doesn't have to be a shutdown. I absolutely support the president. I campaigned.
I don't know what the nuclear option is, but we're going to Google that real quick.
For him for years. But I'm also an action person, and I want my party to solve problems.
And you say if he's not getting good advice, though. You told Manu Raju. What specifically?
Well, I don't think it's good advice that a government shutdown is going to help Republicans in the midterms. I don't agree with that. I also don't think it's good advice that Republicans ignoring the health insurance crisis is going to be good for midterms. I actually think that would be very bad for midterms. I see that.
Okay, so the nuclear option is a procedural maneuver, butterfly in the sky. I could go twice as high. Take a look. We didn't know we was gonna get that this early in the video. A procedural maneuver in the U.S. Senate that allows the majority party to overcome a filibuster with a simple majority vote rather than 3/5 supermajority 60 votes typically required. It is also known as the constitutional option by proponents who argue that it allows the Senate to act by majority rules as the Constitution intended. Ooh wee, that sounds crazy. But listen, if they bring out the nuclear option, that means they just wiping everything out. And hey, now that we hear it, we know the nuclear option is on the table. So Americans, beware.
To allow Democrats to have some sort of moral high ground on this issue because they're the only ones talking about it, I think is a major failure from the Republican Party. And I'm not going to stand there and just keep talking the talking points when my own adult children can hardly afford health insurance premiums, when everyone in my district, it's the #1 issue that I hear about day in and day out, not just people on the ACA, but people that have private insurance as well. And I think it's something that we have to talk about. And I don't see why the government needs to be shut down. I really don't. I believe that if Republicans learn to govern and wield power, they can use the nuclear option in the Senate. They can open up the government. We can get back to work for the American people, and Republicans can solve this problem that is a very big problem that we can't ignore.
Hey, let's be honest. Midterms is coming up. Is she trying to get reelected, or is she really for American people? Is she going against MAGA and the Republicans, or is she trying to get reelected? Let's listen to the talking points. Think about it. I don't know. As a black man, I've been tricked by a few white women, okay? They got me, yep. They got me for 18 years of child support. They got me for my livelihood. They got me locked up, looking at white women is a black man's crutch. And we be like, oh yeah, we're gonna cheer her on. Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene, if she got the whitest name. Yeah. And then she just doing this for votes. Is she being honest to us, or is she just doing this for votes? Let's keep listening.
I certainly support the president, but I'm not what would be the right way to say it. I'm not some sort of blind slave to the president, and I don't think anyone should be. I serve in Congress. We are a separate branch of the government, and I'm not elected by the president. I'm not elected by anyone that works in the White House. I'm elected by my district. That's who I work for. And I got elected without the president's endorsement. And, you know, I think that has served me really well. So I get to be independent as a Republican. And I think what helps him the most is when he has people that are willing to be honest with him and not just tell him what they think he wants to hear. I certainly support the president.
She certainly supports the president. I believe her. I believe Marjorie Taylor Greene is fighting for America. Okay? Or, since y'all say, this is that victim mentality. Yeah, I got victim mentality. Nah, I don't think I want to go there, because it's people in here that really take everything too serious. But I guarantee you, I got some funny jokes, but y'all might cancel me. I don't want to get Jimmy Kimmel in this. I don't want to get Jimmy Kimmel. I want to get these jokes off and not be Jimmy Kimmel. So if y'all can let me get jokes off and stop being, it's Friday night. It's Friday night. We're going to talk about some serious issues, but it's Friday night. Get your punk ass a drink and let's have a good time. Okay?
But I'm one of those that gets real tired of political drama when it's not actually solving a problem. And this is such a crisis that I'm willing to say, okay, everyone, we have to do something about this. It shouldn't be something that we dangle the American people or military pay or all of these things. We shouldn't be dangling them back and forth. We have to fix it. What am I hearing from my constituents? It's great. We track all the calls that come into my office. About 60% of the calls coming in right now are calls of support and saying, yes, health insurance is a crisis. They're telling us stories about how they're already paying $2,000 a month with $10,000 deductibles. I'm getting phone calls from people that are saying if the ACA tax credits expire, they aren't going to be able to have health insurance. They're going to have to drop it. But I'm hearing from people on both sides, people already on the ACA and people that are already getting crushed by high health insurance premiums.
You know, there's a reporting that President Trump, as you know, recently called at least two senior Republicans to ask, and I'm quoting now from these reports, what's going on with Marjorie, end quote. Have you talked to the president about this issue personally? It's obviously so personal for you.
Well, you know, the president has my cell phone number, and he's called me many, many times. So if he wants...
Recently? How recent?
I don't get into that.
No. Whenever Marjorie was front and center for Trump, he was on her line. You know what? He was probably trying to grab her by the... But, listen. When Marjorie was front line for Trump, he was calling her, hey, you're doing a great job. Now, when she spoke up about the Epstein files, he was like, block that bitch. Block her. Block her.
Kind of details, but he knows how to call me and he can ask me himself.
You say he's not getting good advice, though. You told Manu Raju. What specifically?
Well, I don't think it's good advice that a government shutdown is going to help Republicans in the midterms. I don't agree with that. I also don't think it's good advice that Republicans ignoring the health insurance crisis is going to be good for midterms. I actually think that would be very bad for midterms. And I think that just not staying focused on America First policies is detrimental as well. The inflation crushed people in the past 4.5 years, and the costs have not come down.
All right, if you're new here, please misspell cuss words in the chat, and we're going to keep it lit. But yes, she's being honest. For once, she's being honest. Like, forget she's trying to get reelected. She's like, all right, I need to get reelected, so let me be honest. I'ma still ride for MAGA, but MAGA, we need to like come to some type of resolution, because what is going on is still the truth. It may not be what we want, but it's still the truth. Let's figure it out. Let's come to a happy medium. And that's what politicians are supposed to do. They're not supposed to be throwing jabs at women like Jasmine Crockett. Well, we know Marjorie and Jasmine, they have this feud that's been going on for the past 2 years. So, listen, at this point, Jasmine back there like, look at this. Look at this. Jasmine's silent as a church mouse because she watching everything unfold under MAGA.
You've been such a close ally of the president's. Are you worried about being on the opposite side of him on some of these issues?
I've supported the president for the longest time. I was one of the only Republicans in Washington that did not turn my back on him after January 6th. I traveled the country spending millions of my own dollars supporting Donald Trump, helping him get elected. And I think I'm still supporting him now by saying Republicans in the House and Senate need to do their job and come up with a solution for the American people. And I'm supporting him with my policies. Being against the Ukraine war, he was saying he wanted to end that war from day one. Being against foreign wars, he's always said he's against foreign wars. So a lot of my stances actually support the president a lot more than perhaps maybe some people on his own White House staff and a lot of these Republicans that just put their MAGA hats on literally a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder.
Oh, she calling them out. She calling them out. Listen. This is why you don't mess with volatile white women. Volatile white women will blow up your spot. They'll flip on you in a drop of a hat. I know this. I know this firsthand. I'm just playing. I rock with Dr. Umar.
Do you think that he's maybe straying from some of those MAGA principles that you're fighting for?
I've never speak on behalf of the president, but I don't think he's always getting the best advice.
From his staff?
Possibly, no.
You've been such a close ally of the president's. Are you?
The staff ain't doing. The chief of staff, Stephen Miller, is the worst advisor he's ever had. He should just bring Sarah Huckabee back. Bring Sarah Huckabee back. God damn it, because Stephen Miller, he just be yapping at the mouth. It's a evil person on a cartoon that my kids be watching. I don't know his name, but he like blue and he got a big ass head. That's Stephen Miller.
What happened on October 7th is absolutely horrific. And of course our hearts go out to those families and those hostages that remain. But at the same time, the relentless bombing of the Palestinian people, and many of them have been just innocent people. They're not Hamas. They're literally women and children, and you can't unsee the amount of pictures and videos of children that have been blown to pieces and or they're finding them dead in the rubble. Those aren't actors. That isn't fake war propaganda. It's very real, and I think that is equally horrific. I want to see an end to it, and I think most Americans do.
Okay? Standing up to Israel is against MAGA. MAGA stands with Israel. And she's like, hey, it's women and children over there. She used the key words. It's women and we've been talking about these. It's women and children over there. Forget the men. Like, Negroes ain't shit. I ain't talking about black men. I'm talking about. I don't want to use the word because I'm trying to not to be like. I'm trying to be more like. I'm trying to be FCC regulated. You know. Because they shut down, mother. If you go against Donald Trump, your ass gets shut down. Okay? But anyway, it is sad what's happened over. I want to get into that, but I don't want to get into that because I told y'all, Charlie Kirk, Nick Cannon, Kanye West. I'm just PJ. I got a regular day job. Like, seriously, like, I ain't making millions. I don't want to get into that just yet. But we're going to get into it.
She also said, that is to say, Marjorie Taylor Greene, that it is incumbent upon Republicans to negotiate with Democrats to avoid premium increases destined for Americans who currently receive enhanced Obamacare subsidies. Now, you've implied that Congresswoman Greene's not fully read in on all the health care specifics. Is that still your position, that she's not really read in enough to have an opinion on that?
Well, I don't know what Marjorie has reviewed. I know she's not on the committees of jurisdiction who spend every hour of every day around the clock specializing on these issues and doing a lot of work and deliberation on it. Major, I want to tell you, we were always preparing to have those debates in the month of October and November. That's an end-of-the-year policy issue. Those subsidies don't run out. They're not exhausted until December 31st. So it's a red herring. It's a distraction to the very simple matter of keeping the lights on before the end of the fiscal year deadline, September 30th. Democrats are using that to obscure that issue so that they can show a fight against Trump. It's a complete red herring. It's a complete distraction. It doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing right now. What they're doing, though, is real harm, not just to American people who are not receiving the services, but they're also eating up a lot of the clock in the month of October, where everyone would be here, productively debating and determining how to bring down costs in Obamacare, which is failing the people. It's an admission by the Democrats, by the way, that they need subsidies because premiums have risen 60% since Obamacare was created in 2010. It did not do as promised. It did exactly the opposite.
This is MGT's biggest hater right here. This guy, Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson and Stephen Miller are about the same height as 4'10". It's been confirmed. And I think one of them may be 4'10", one of them may be 4'11". But when they stand next to the bleach blonde, bad built, bush body, they don't compare. They're not real men. MGT is MTG? MTG is more man than Mike Johnson and Stephen Miller. Let's give a round of applause for MTG. Okay, put your hand claps in the chat, because she calling them out. She calling this guy out. She's called him out once. She's called him out twice. She's called him out 3 times, and then he shifts subjects. He's scared. He's scared. He's scared of the truth. He's scared of the president in chief, or whatever you call him. He's scared. Listen, Mike Johnson knows how to deal with white women. Hakeem Jeffries don't. If MTG get on Hakeem Jeffries, he better run.
Insurance across the board is crushing people. The cost of living is gone so high in the past 4.5 years, and it hasn't come down. Rent is unaffordable. You can't buy a home. A lot of people don't even know if they'll ever be able to buy a home. But insurance premiums are unbelievably high.
Up and to the right.
Yep, and they're looking to go up. Not only people on the ACA, but people that have private plans as well. This is the #1 issue I hear about in my district. I work for Georgia's 14th district, and so I'm willing to take off team jerseys, so to speak, right now and call it literally like it is.
She said, I'm taking off the MAGA hat. I'm taking off the MAGA hat and fighting for my constituents in my community, the people who voted for me. Why? It's voting season. It's voting season. Is she being authentic, or is she just fighting for votes? Y'all be the judge.
This is a crisis in America, and I really want to work on it.
So privately, are you hearing Republicans tell you, yeah, you're right, or have you not heard that yet?
I've only talked to a few people today. They agree with me, but to be honest with you, since the government is shut down, we haven't had much conversation, much communication at all within our conference, which I also think is a major problem.
Because they on vacation. They on vacation. They on vacation.
The House is not in session. We should be. We should be working on appropriations. That's important to me. I really want to get appropriations, tax dollars back to my district. And I also think we have other important work to do. So I was largely against the CR. I want to do appropriations. And I don't think the government should be shut down right now.
So how do Republicans don't want to tie this issue to funding. You obviously think this is an issue. It has to be taken up at the end of the year. Do you think this should be tied to the funding battle now, or get the government open and then deal with it later?
Right. Well, so I'm coming from a business background. I believe in walking and chewing gum at the same time. I think we should be able to work on all of this at the same time. What I am doing is sounding the alarm bells. This is a major crisis in America. When people are working paycheck to paycheck, they can't make ends meet, and we're looking at a massive spike in health insurance premiums. It's going to crush people. They're going to have to drop their health insurance, and that could put a lot of people in danger of being bankrupt with hospital bills or health care bills. And I don't think that's the right way to treat the American people. We're elected by them. Their taxpayer dollars fund our paychecks. They fund the entire government. And I believe the American people deserve better.
So I hear your point.
You hear that? She said, we are elected by them. Elections is coming up. What are y'all going to do? Are y'all going to bite the bait? Okay? Are y'all going to bite the bait? Look, there's in the black community, there's a saying where, I don't know what it's a saying, stirring of the teacup. If you know what stirring of the teacup means, put teacups in the chat. Are we gonna be stirred up with the teacup? Are we being hypnotized? Are we being hypnotized by Marjorie Taylor Greene, or is she being truthful? Okay. This is a prime example of Get Out. Is this Get Out? Is this a Get Out moment? Is America under a Get Out moment, or is she being real? We got to talk about that. Think about it. Think about it.
The House Speaker Mike Johnson just spoke with our Leland Vittert. Full interview later tonight here on News Nation. But I want to play a part of that for you and get your reaction on the other side.
There is no daylight between House Republicans, Senate Republicans, President Trump, and the White House. We're united, and that's why we're winning this fight, and it's an important one for the American people. With regard to the subsidies, remember, that is 100% a red herring. It's a distraction. This is what Chuck Schumer and the Democrats put together to try to make the issue of the day.
He said the issue of the subsidies, you couldn't hear it, so he said the issue of the subsidies is a red herring. And it's something essentially that Chuck Schumer and Democrats are talking about right now.
Well, no, the issues of the subsidies are real. It's not something that anybody can say is made up. Also, people with regular or private plans, their premiums are looking to go up a median of 18%. That's brutal. I know a lot of small business owners, like a family of four, and they're paying $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month with deductibles of $7,000 to $10,000, and approximately 40% of these people don't even use their health insurance, so they're just burning money just in case they might have cancer, or just in case they have a terrible car accident. And then you've got single moms, many Americans that are really struggling that are on the ACA. If you double their health insurance or even triple it, these people are they're either gonna have to drop it, or they're gonna be choosing between rent and their health insurance.
Man, you know why I won't become a full-time YouTuber and I stay working at my job at McDonald's is because I get provided with health insurance for me and my 8 kids. For me and my 8 kids, I get provided with health insurance that only costs me $600 a month versus quitting my job and then going to paying private. She said $2,000 for 4. Bitch, I got 8, and myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? You think I want to pay $4,000 worth of insurance when I could just pay $600? So I got to keep a job, and I can't do this full time. Could y'all imagine watching me every day? That would be, I know that would be hella good, but I can't afford it. I can't afford it. Okay? I do pay for my own kids. I got a job. I'm not on welfare. Like I didn't say I was on welfare. I said I got insurance through my job. Like it don't make sense. Make it make sense.
We track all the calls that come into my office. About 60% of the calls coming in right now are calls of support and saying, yes, health insurance is a crisis. They're telling us stories about how they're already paying $2,000 a month with $10,000 deductibles. I'm getting phone calls from people that are saying if the ACA tax credits expire, they aren't going to be able to have health insurance. They're going to have to drop it. But I'm hearing from people on both sides, people already on the ACA and people that are already getting crushed by high health insurance premiums. Control the House, we control.
I'm telling y'all, when she's saying this, the health insurance premium that I have or the deductible that I have, in order for my daughter to have the surgery that she needs, I have to pay $7,000. So no, not 7,000. What did I say? It was like 500. It's like $8,000. So now I have to make a payment plan for that $8,000 to meet the deductible. That's insane with insurance. So she's not joking. Like, this shit is high. And I'm like, damn. But I got to do it. I don't have no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, y'all got to think about it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If it got to be done, it got to be done. I got to do it. Is it expensive? Yes. I'm an American citizen. Yes. Do I need cheaper healthcare coverage and assistance? Yes. But it's not happening. So I got to pay it. It's just life. But if it goes up next year, bruh, like, think about this, people.
The Senate, we have the White House. When it comes to hearing from senior citizens or my own friends and neighbors and my own family members and people that voted for me, and they're just saying, Marjorie, we just really want somebody to do something about health insurance premiums. We really want our government and our leaders to actually focus on our country for a change and fix our problems. That is the message I constantly hear from my district. And
oh, we gonna get to where she talking about our country. Like, we gonna get to that.
I'm a representative. I don't have to be a cheerleader for my party. I have to represent my district because those are the people that hired me and sent me here. And I myself, I agree with them, and I'm pretty much over it's just drama constantly on TV. I don't think it's good advice that a government shutdown is going to help Republicans in the midterms. I don't agree with that. I also don't think it's good advice that Republicans ignoring the health insurance crisis is going to be good for midterms. I actually think that would be very bad for midterms. And I think that just not staying focused on America First policies is detrimental as well.
Yeah, and on that note, are you concerned about the cost of living?
Very.
That the President Trump said he would lower?
The inflation crushed people in the past 4.5 years, and the costs have not come down. I myself can tell you my apartment here in Washington, D.C., the electricity bill is $100 more than it was last year, because you can look at your own bill and look at cost.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but y'all better start going green, okay? Going green, okay. $20,000 or $30,000 is a lot of money for most American people, right? But if you're paying, let's say $5,000 a year on your electric bill, why not pay $5,000 a year going green? Like, cause in the end, it's what's gonna go on in the future. Y'all better get ahead of time. Mind you, my solar panel, the bill for my solar panel is $140 a month. My electric bill was $27 this month. Okay, so when you average that out, that's only $1,400 plus another two, so about $1,600 a year for my solar panels. Throughout the year, I'm paying like another $300 for a year. So $1,700 or $1,900 a year versus $5,000. Cause y'all's electric bill high as hell. I've seen people with $300-400 every month since June. Or not since June, since May. I mean January, February, March. Since March. I had to do my math. Since March, $300 electric bills. Shit, and just between March and this month right now, shit, you done paid off your solar panels for the year. But you know who don't want y'all to go electric? I ain't gonna tell y'all, but I'm telling y'all, it's coming. Y'all better think positive. Y'all better think better.
Costs have not come down. I myself can tell you my apartment here in Washington, D.C., the electric, putting the blame on the Speaker and Leader Thune in the Senate. This should not be happening. And I don't think, look, as a member of Congress, we already have a low enough job approval rating. This shutdown is just going to drive everybody's approval rating that much lower.
But so you're putting the blame on the leadership of your party.
Absolutely. We control the House. We control the Senate. We have the White House. I've been vocal saying, you know, you can use the nuclear option in the Senate. This doesn't have to be a shutdown. But what we have to do is we have to work for the American.
You guys, what is happening with Marjorie? Why is she all of a sudden riding so hard for Democrats? Like, I'm not complaining, you guys. I'm all for it. But why? Like, what happened? What did she not get done that made her just completely flip? You guys, she is calling out her party leadership flat out. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. This is on the Republican leadership. Because they're all trying to make this about illegal immigrants getting health care, and it's just not what is happening. But I'm all for it. Marjorie, tell us everything you know. Say all the names on the House floor. We're here for it all, please.
Putting the blame on the Speaker.
How did we go from this to this?
I'm not some sort of blind slave to the president, and I don't think anyone should be. I serve in Congress. We are a separate branch of the government, and I'm not elected by the president. I'm not elected by anyone that works in the White House. I'm elected by my district. That's who I work for. And I got elected without the president's endorsement, and you know, I think that has served me really well.
Mega MAGA loyalist Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has once again broken from her own party, kind of a new trend. In an ongoing standoff over the government shutdown that most Republicans have repeatedly called a Democrat shutdown, MTG has actually sided with Democrats in calling for an extension of the Affordable Care Act subsidies and been very critical of the shutdown.
I don't see why the government needs to be shut down. I really don't. I believe that if Republicans learn to govern and wield power, they can use the nuclear option in the Senate. They can open up the government. We can get back to work for the American people, and Republicans can solve this problem.
Now, in a long post on X, she also said the following, quote, "When the tax credits expire this year, my own children's insurance premiums for 2026 are going to double, along with all the wonderful families and the hardworking people in my district. Not a single Republican leadership talked to us about this or has given us a plan to help Americans," end quote. Like I said, this is actually not the first time she has publicly spoken about the Trump administration. It really broke with them. Remember, she zeroed in on the DOJ's handling of the Epstein files, and she was not happy.
The truth needs to come out, and the government holds the truth.
The cases that are sealed hold the truth. Jeffrey Epstein's estate holds the truth. The FBI, the DOJ, and the CIA holds the truth. And the truth we are demanding come out.
Yeah, that was Marjorie Taylor Greene. And back in June, she denounced Trump's decision to attack Iran's nuclear facilities, again posting on X, quote, "It feels like a complete bait and switch to please the beacons, the warmongers, military-industrial complex contracts, and neocon TV personalities that MAGA hates and who were never Trumpers." End tweet. I mean, this for me is a wow. Here we are with the cracks growing between ex-Trump super loyalist Marjorie Taylor Greene. She called Trump, she was his biggest fan in Congress, and the GOP. So the question is, what could they break on next? Could healthcare actually be the thing that causes a real rift, a true break within the MAGA party? We'll soon find.
I mean, we're going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to get a live call in, but I just want to understand. Are y'all understanding what's going on? Like, is the stronghold not as strong as we really thought? Like, we thought MAGA was MAGA, right? But now I'm not going to say nothing rose during Biden's presidency. Like, nothing went wrong. I mean, we can actually write a Santa's list of things that went wrong during Joe Biden's presidency. Everything that went wrong is longer than a CVS receipt, okay? But when I think it's all a trickle down effect from everything that started from when Obama took presidency to the fights that was on the hill all the way into Trump's presidency, into Joe Biden's presidency, and back into Trump's presidency again. And it's been downhill. And you know what? Our prices are going uphill. And if you ever rode bikes and you ride uphill and you lower the gears so you can pedal easy, that's our inflation. It's pedaling easy to the top.
Laura Loomer is turning on Donald Trump and calling him out today after the announcement of the Qatari airbase. Now, if you missed it today, Pete Hegseth announced that Qatar will have an Air Force base within the United States, and MAGA immediately blew up with Laura Loomer leading the charge. Check this post out. What is America First about allowing Qatar to have a military base on U.S. soil? This is an abomination. So much for making America safe again. There's more to that post that I had to cut off because it gets rough. And she followed that up, encouraging people not to vote in 2026 and saying that this is a line in the sand that she will not accept. This is MAGA turning on Donald Trump, and you can bet he's going forward with this base. He just got a new golf course in Qatar. He just got the plane. It's about time that MAGA realizes what we've been telling them. Donald Trump does not care. He even told you he doesn't care about you. He just wants your vote. You can yell at him all you want. If there's something in it for him, he's moving forward whether you like it or not. Laura Loomer is turning on.
Mind you, Trump's just has a brand new golf course opening up in Qatar. And he got a $400 million plane. Man, and you know what? I seen something crazy, but I seen something so crazy, and I was like, what the is that? But I'm gonna have to save that for another video. But I'm telling you what, I knew something was going on when I seen it, and I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. But this unite with Qatar, it isn't about healthcare. It isn't about terrorism. It is because Qatar is a safe ass place. It's safe than a mug. I mean, you know, they got their tools and fuse just like America. But what I'm gonna tell you is, it's about money, and it's lining somebody's pocket up. It's lining somebody's family up. You know who want to be one of the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers? That's what they want to be. They want to be lined up with Heinz. Y'all know Heinz, they rich in the mug. Johnson and Johnson. I don't even know if Johnson and Johnson is a family, but I know whoever Johnson, the first Johnson and the second Johnson, they family good.
Kevin Stitt is the Republican governor of Oklahoma and the chair of the National Governors Association. He just went on the record calling Donald Trump's invasion of Chicago and Portland a violation of states' rights and a violation of our form of government, correctly recognizing and refusing to succumb to the hypocrisy by calling out that he and his fellow Oklahomans would have lost their minds if President Biden had ever sent the National Guard from Illinois into Oklahoma. This development, on top of Marjorie Taylor Greene turning on Trump over the shutdown, could not have come at a better time, because over the insanity of the past couple of weeks, I was struck by exactly how badly Donald Trump is being failed by his advisors, and by extension, how badly he is failing his MAGA base. And the proof is in the data, and I'm going to show it to you. And by the end of this video, I think you will agree with me that we should be collectively shocked that any person still supports Trump, and that Trump hasn't fired his entire cabinet. Because right now, his primary focus, and remember these topics, is sending the National Guard into blue cities, spending billions of dollars to chase undocumented immigrants, while 70 to 75% of Americans believe that if you're undocumented but you haven't committed any other crimes, you should stay. He forced an indictment on James Comey, and he's trying to do the same to Adam Schiff, trying to force criminal consequences for superficial emotional grievances. He's forcing prices up by forcing tariffs down our throat, not just on imports from China, but on our best trading partners like Canada, Brazil, and Mexico. And he's not only fired tens of thousands of federal workers who were insufficiently loyal to him, but now he's gone even further by allowing Pete Hegseth to fire active duty members of the military. Now let's compare these actions and priorities to the responses from Trump voters in a November 2024 poll, where after he was successfully elected, they were asked how he should govern. In this poll, after voting for Trump, 58% of Trump's own voters said it would be inappropriate for him to fire federal workers for being insufficiently loyal. 58% of them said it would be inappropriate for him to pardon friends, family, or supporters who committed crimes. 42% of Trump voters said it would be inappropriate for him to govern with executive orders if he can't get his priorities through Congress. And 46% of Trump voters said it would be unacceptable for Trump to order the Justice Department to investigate his Democratic rivals. I cannot emphasize this enough. These are only Trump voters. But because of Donald Trump's brain rot advisors, his entire first year has been a laundry list of things nobody wanted. All while we bleed good jobs, while prices continue to climb, and while Russia does whatever they want. And all while personal freedoms and states' rights are under constant attack. And if you're one of these Republicans like Kevin Stitt, or dare I even say Marjorie Taylor Greene, do not let them gaslight you into believing that this is what you wanted. You were right. These were terrible ideas then, and they're even worse now, because his incompetent administration finds a way to make bad ideas even worse with their circus sideshow execution. I still believe that millions of Republicans just wanted better jobs and lower prices, but they just got conned. Because Donald Trump surrounded himself with people more focused on loyalty and cruelty than prosperity, and because he doesn't have the judgment to fire them.
Now, y'all know I'm from Oklahoma, and boy, Kevin Stitt, boy. He's what you want to call a YN. He came in firing hot. He wanted to take the state, he wanted to take the governor's house out of Oklahoma City. What is wrong with you? He did this $2 million renovation of a kitchen. They got $2 million kitchen. A $2 million kitchen, dog. A $2 million kitchen that Oklahomans had to pay for. $2 million kitchen? Oh, y'all ain't know? And now Kevin Stitt is telling, well, you know, I'm against Trump going into Illinois because it's unconstitutional for the state. I'm actually surprised. I want to see that come out of his fat ass lips. If I see that come out of his lips, then I might change my mind about him. But I don't believe it. I don't believe somebody who spends $2 million on the kitchen on Oklahoma taxpayers is willing to stand up to his Lord and Savior, Donald Trump. I just don't believe it, but there's more.
I've got a message for Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt. I'm the chair for the Tulsa County Democratic Party, the second largest county in our state. If you continue doing what you're doing, you keep threatening the mayor, you keep threatening the city, you keep attacking people who are homeless, you keep threatening people who are migrants, you keep threatening to bring the National Guard and the secret police down upon our county, I promise you, not only will we flip House seats next year, we're going to flip a Senate seat. You know what? You keep it up, I might flip a Board of County Commissioners seat next year. You know what we'll do 2 years after that? We'll flip another one. Then we'll have a 2-1 majority. Keep it up, Kevin. I've already got people out knocking doors. I've only been in office for 4 months. We've got people knocking doors every single week. And if you think that I will not use your behavior as an opportunity to get even more volunteers out knocking doors, even more voters in the loop and angry about your bad behavior, you are sorely mistaken.
This was just a month ago when he was threatening to bring the National Guard to Oklahoma, specifically Tulsa. If you don't, okay, there's a select few cities in America on First 48. And when you think of First 48 in Oklahoma, you think Tulsa. Kevin Stitt is from Tulsa. He wants to get First 48 out of Tulsa. So he threatened to bring the National Guard, but then now he's saying, I wouldn't want Donald Trump to take the National Guard from another state to another state. But just a month ago, so this is why I don't know if I believe all these Republicans standing up to Donald Trump and the MAGA at this moment. It's suspicious. It's too many at one time. And y'all ain't had no talks with Hakeem Jeffries, I think, or Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, y'all better be tight-lipped about what's going on, because I need some answers. America needs to know what the hell is going on with all these Republicans all of a sudden flipping in 1 week. 3 major Trump supporters, 3 major outspoken Trump supporters have went up against him in 1 week and 1 week and a couple days into the shutdown. It's not a game, folks.
We have some major news right now. We are seeing major cracks forming in the Republican Party right now. In a stunning move, Oklahoma's Republican Governor Kevin Stitt, who has been a major supporter of President Trump, is publicly breaking from the administration. He is blasting the decision to send the Texas National Guard into Chicago, calling it a flagrant violation of states' rights and a dangerous overreach of the United States Constitution. While Governor Stitt clarified that he supports the administration's overall goal of a nationwide crime crackdown, he is vehemently opposing the method. He argues that using one state's guard to police another undermines the foundation of American federalism. In a powerful statement, he put the situation in perspective for his constituents, saying that Oklahoma residents would never support a hypothetical Biden administration sending the Illinois National Guard, commanded by Governor J.B. Pritzker, into Oklahoma. This is a massively significant development. For the first time, a high-profile, Trump-supporting governor is drawing a clear line in the sand, choosing constitutional principles over party loyalty. And this isn't happening in a vacuum. These internal divisions are becoming more visible, as Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is also openly blasting her own party's leadership over the government shutdown. We are witnessing critical fractures emerge at the highest levels of the GOP. The question now is whether this is the beginning of a larger rebellion. We have...
Hey, Hey, listen, it's happening. I don't know. Let's see. We only 10 days into the government shutdown, and we have three large names. 3. But there could be more.
The Republican governor of Oklahoma is breaking with President Trump over the deployment of the Texas National Guard to Illinois. Kevin Stitt, who chairs the National Governors Association, said the president's move violates his belief in states' rights. He noted how people in his state would, quote, lose their mind if Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker sent troops down to Oklahoma during the Biden administration. As the New York Times reports, Stitt said he is worried about the precedent that was being set by the Guard deployment and how it could be used by a president from another part. Where have I heard that before?
Yeah, well, exactly. And Gene Robinson, this is what we keep talking about. And again, it's not to sound like a broken record, but these Republicans, again, are setting up precedents that they're going to absolutely lose their mind on when, I don't know, let's say the state of California decides in 2029 they're going to send National Guard troops to make sure that a trans athlete can be escorted into a swim meet in Dothan, Alabama. I mean, come on. Seriously, this is insanity, especially for the party that talks about states' rights, states' rights, states' rights, states' rights, states' rights. And I'm glad the governor actually spoke up and said, "Hey, Republicans, wake up. This is really bad."
This is very big. This is a big deal.
Absolutely. And Governor J.B. Pritzker of Illinois has been calling for the National Governors Association to say something. You don't like this, say something. And so, to his credit, Governor Stitt did. Look, what you do unto others will be done unto you. And that is, that's like a basic law of how this whole thing works. And nobody should want to see this. This is not necessary. This is certainly not normal. It is not healthy for our federal system. There's always a balance between federal and state rights, but clearly...
And by the way, Gene, this is, again, just so people know, everybody is so obsessed with what's right in front of their faces right now. This has always been the case. I remember during impeachment, in '99, I would say to my, Republican friends who were like, "We're going to get Bill Clinton, we're going to do this, we're going to do that." I said, it's '99. We don't know who's going to win in 2000, but one day there will be another. It doesn't seem like it now, but there will be another Republican president. And you need to make sure, however you vote, understand that standard will be applied to the Republican president. I mean, this is basic. And yet Republicans, whether you talk about lawfare, whether you talk about National Guard going to different, all of these things, they're setting themselves up for a hard fall down the road.
The Republican
We're already seeing paychecks missed, soldiers lining up at food kitchens. Are you concerned that this fight for health care that Democrats are waging here might end up hurting Americans the longer the shutdown drags out?
Republicans have the House, the Senate, and the presidency. They decided to shut the government down. Republicans in the House have decided to remain on vacation. Republicans canceled votes last week, they canceled votes this week, and now they've canceled votes next week. They're not serious about reopening the government. Republicans aren't even serious about paying our active duty troops.
But they have voted for temporary government funding legislation.
Republicans have voted for a partisan spending bill that continues to gut the health care of the American people and threatens to raise the cost of living on tens of millions of Americans in an environment where Republicans promised to lower the costs of living on day one. Costs haven't gone down, they've gone up.
Listen. It's happening, y'all. It's happening. They have went on vacation, not vacation. Well, it's the weekend. So they left around 2, 3 o'clock today. They left around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They came in for morning coffee, shook a few hands, talked to a few press, didn't vote on nothing today. So we are on day 10. By the time they come back, it's going to be day 13. Come on, man. Just, the government don't stop on the weekend. As everybody be like, I want to be a government worker so I could be off on Saturday and Sunday. Well, unfortunately, the government don't stop on Saturday and Sunday. It still be going. So we don't stop. We don't stop on day 10 and start back Monday with day 11. No, we on day 12, 11, 12, day 13.
The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism at a very high level. And in the wake of that conference, nations came together and spoke to me about confronting Qatar over its behavior. So we had a decision to make. Do we take the easy road, or do we finally take a hard but necessary action? We have to stop the funding of terrorism. I decided, along with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, our great generals and military people, the time had come to call on Qatar to end its funding. They have to end that funding. The nation of Qatar, unfortunately.
Did y'all see Pissy Pete talking about giving Qatar a military base on U.S. soil? Watch this shit.
I'm also proud that today we're announcing, we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. The location will be host a contingent of Qatari F-15s and pilots to enhance our combined training, increase lethality, interoperability. It's just another example of our partnership. And I hope you know, Your Excellency, that you can count on us.
First off, that's unconstitutional and invalid. Because when the fuck did they pass this through Congress? In order to legally allow a foreign military base on U.S. soil, it would require presidential negotiation and signing of a treaty, 2/3 Senate approval, congressional enabling legislation, state/local land and environmental approvals, and ongoing U.S. command and oversight. Has that fucking happened? No. So I'm assuming this is just the first step, which is the negotiation, and then Dookie Booty has to sign the treaty. So after that, it must then go to the U.S. Senate, where 2/3 must vote to approve it. They would need 67 votes if all 100 senators are present. The Senate could hold hearings, require amendments, and reject it outright. And then, even if the treaty passed the Senate, Congress would need to enact enabling legislation to implement it. Funding for land use, security, and oversight, modifications to federal and possibly state laws to define jurisdiction, who prosecutes crimes by foreign troops, how weapons are regulated, possibly amending the Posse Comitatus Act if the arrangement risks giving foreign troops policing powers on U.S. soil. And if it's somehow approved, the base would likely include joint command structure, U.S. officers always having veto power, limited numbers and weapons restrictions, continuous congressional and Defense Department oversight. It would look less like foreign soil and more like a joint operation zone, heavily monitored by U.S. forces and intelligence. It says, in practice, this process is so politically explosive that no U.S. administration has ever even attempted it. The optics of foreign troops on U.S. land would provoke major backlash. The U.S. military already maintains command over 750 bases abroad, so the strategic benefit rarely justifies the domestic risk. Given U.S. sovereignty concerns, it would face major bipartisan resistance unless it served an overwhelming strategic purpose, which it doesn't. So these motherfuckers really sold off America for a fucking plane. For a fucking plane. We need to get all these motherfuckers out of the White House ASAP. Congress, y'all better
excuse her language, but she broke it down, because what we missing is the facts in everything that should be done. And that's why I'm here, because these voices don't get shown. We have to listen to CNN, Fox News, MSNBC talking points. But let's get to some people who have the intelligence to look things up and fact find and tell us, American people, what's going on within our country, because they on the Hill are not telling us. They're not telling us. They're lying to us in our face. They're doing shady shit in our faces. And we vote these people in. We have to ask them, like, what is you gonna do about this? Is this what we want? I thought it was America first. It's like America first, but if Donald Trump wants a new plane, then let's do that. Then we go back to America.
So let me get this right, America first, MAGA Republicans. Your president and your Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, have now made a deal with the Qataris, the same ones that gave Trump a $400 million plane to have their own contingency force in Idaho at an American base. This is being built up to be a joint, I don't know, exercise or whatever the heck it is, because it's so vague. You know how this administration has no transparency. But I haven't seen this ever happen in our history, where another government, any government in the world, has fighter jets, F-15s, and their pilots have a part of an American military base to use as they wish. I want you and MAGA, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, someone tell me whenever this has ever happened in our history. We do it to other countries, but they've never done it to us. We've never had someone come into our country and put a military motherfucking installation. And again, gave a gift to a president, and in a few months, get this sweetheart deal. America first. You mean America last? You guys put this businessman, so-called businessman, in office. And the reason we tell you that business people don't make good presidents is because business people are there for the bottom line, for their greed. And I said the operative word, for their greed. They're not worried about everyone around them. They're not philanthropists that are over here that are charity organizations. Okay? They're there for a profit.
I want to say one thing is that American fighter planes are all around the world. All of our allies use American fighter planes. All of our allies. All around the world. And we have American bases on several countries, like plenty. And we have American troops alongside of their troops of that country working on American planes, so we can keep planes in areas with our allies, which is why the UN is so important. And Trump wanted to get out of the UN, and also, but not also, why put a foreign military base in Idaho? In Idaho? Idaho. I mean, I wouldn't say put it in Miami, in Florida. But Idaho? First of all, it get up to like 130 degrees in Qatar. The are they gonna do in Idaho? Idaho. Sorry, Idaho. Y'all had to catch that straight, but Idaho.
There's some serious misinformation going around about this whole Qatar is allegedly getting an Air Force base in Idaho dedicated to them. And it's nobody's fault. Like, people are regurgitating that on this app and others, and it's not their fault. Don't blame them. You know who you need to blame is Pete Hegseth, because he said that was happening, and he is the Secretary of War, which he's not. He's the Secretary of Defense. And he is, by the way, second in command to Donald Trump of the entire U.S. military. He's giving misinformation, because what is actually going on, and I'm not saying this is any better, is that they are dedicating one facility at our existing Idaho Air Force Base for the Qatari Air Force to come and to train with our troops. Still not a good partnership. Let me tell you why. But just to clear the air, they're not getting their own military base. They're still getting a building or a facility with ours, but they're not building a separate base for them. Now, I hope you'll stick around to find out exactly why this partnership should be considered treasonous. Let's visit the case of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, or KSM, as I'm going to call him. And yes, I do have some notes I'm referring to because I want to get it right. We're not doing misinformation here. So KSM was considered the principal architect of 9/11. And if you don't know what 9/11 is, it was that giant terrorist attack on the United States in which thousands upon thousands of Americans died. And those who didn't die but were still part of that terrible day, a lot of them had lasting mental health effects, obviously, but also physical effects that in some cases took their lives. This quote-unquote mastermind behind 9/11, he was living in Doha, Qatar in the 90s. And as part of him being there, he was working for Qatar's Ministry of Electricity and Water under a government job, which was arranged for him allegedly by the Qatari royal family. 1996 rolls around, and the US has enough information and evidence to arrest KSM. So they call up Qatar and they're like, hey, he's not a good guy. Can you please arrest him? And instead, Qatar tips him off that he's going to be arrested. KSM was then able to flee to Afghanistan, where he was able to then mastermind the plan behind 9/11. It is quite literally possible that if Qatar had done what was right and arrested KSM, we might not have had September 11th, 2001. So Stephen Miller, who wants to get on X or Twitter or whatever the hell it's called now, and say that harboring illegals is a crime is total hypocrisy when you, as the US federal government, are willing to essentially harbor and train the Qatari Air Force. There's some serious
We gotta fact check it. We gotta fact check it. But hey, she did it. She told us what it is, so I'm going to dig deeper into that, but this is why it doesn't make sense. There's plans being made. Americans, we're not in this. We're not in this. This is the haves and have-nots right now. This is about money. Qatar making a deal with America after... Does our Commander-in-Chief even know this information? Because if he knows this information, then yo, what are you doing? They was in the same bed together. Just in 2017, he was talking about them being terrorists. That's why I played that, and I didn't even know this was all in there. But I be watching this stuff, but I watch it just as y'all watch it. It just looked like good content, so I play it. And then we decide if it's valid or not. Sound pretty valid to me.
No one other than President Trump could have achieved the peace that what we believe will be a lasting peace in Gaza And Qatar played a substantial role from the beginning, working with our folks to ensure that came about. So I want to thank you for that historic piece. We look forward to joining the president as that gets, it's already been delivered, but as that's formally signed as well. And I'm also proud that today we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. The location will be host a contingent of Qatari F-15s and pilots to enhance our combined training, increase lethality, interoperability. It's just another example of our partnership. And I hope you know, Your Excellency, that you can count on us. We saw in Midnight Hammer, in those moments when we needed support in the region, that Qatar was there without a doubt, without a blink. And that has meant a great deal. I've had the opportunity to see that firsthand operationally. I want to thank you. I want to thank your country for that, for hosting our troops. And it's wonderful to welcome you to the Pentagon. Today, we're signing a letter of acceptance. If and when there's question about American commitment, the whole world knows we've got the biggest, strongest, most lethal, and most ready War Department in the world, which is true, which is why we saw record recruitment in 2025, Mr. President. The first 2 weeks of 2026 already blows that out. FY 2026 already blows it out of the water. In fact, re-enlistment has already met its year-long goal in the Marine Corps in 2026. Okay. You can't, there's no other way to create that kind of love and enthusiasm than with your leadership, sir. If and when there's question.
The newly released 22-page police report gives an inside look into the alleged events that conspired between Pete Hegseth and a woman inside a hotel room during a 2017 Republican women's event in Monterey, California.
California in October 2017. At that time, you were still married to your second wife, correct? I believe so. And you had just fathered a child by a woman who would later become your third wife, correct?
Senator, I was falsely charged, fully investigated, and completely cleared.
No, y'all was not mad at me for having 8 children early. By the way, I don't have 8 children. I lied. So what? It ain't the first time you've been lied to today if you've been watching the news, okay? Jesus Christ. But hey, he's a certified baby daddy, man. This thing got 3 failed marriages, baby mamas. He wasn't even out the first marriage before he knocked up the next baby mama. Come on, man. Come on, man. And the reason why he want women out the military is because he hates y'all. He hates women. He's sick of y'all. He's on a vengeance to it. And his wife was probably in the military. If his wife was in the military, that's why he want them out the military. Like, man, them weak. I seen these weak bitches. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Once I get into power, I'm canceling them. And yeah, he said he don't want them women in the military no more because he is one of them wives is a military woman. Got to be, because ain't no reason for him to be bashing weaker people in the military. Yeah, he hurt. He a hurt young child who got power, and now look at him.
CBS News confirms Hegseth paid a confidential settlement to the woman who accused him of sexual assault back in 2017.
So you think you are completely cleared because you committed no crime? That's your definition of cleared? You had just fathered a child 2 months before by a woman that was not your wife.
The Army veteran has denied any wrongdoing.
I am shocked that you would stand here and say you're completely cleared.
Now, according to that report, the woman, referred to as Jane Doe, said she believes something was slipped in her drink. She also recalled saying no a lot while in a hotel room with Hegseth, and that he stopped her from leaving that room.
Can you so casually cheat on a second wife and cheat on the mother of a child that had been born 2 months before, and you tell us you are completely cleared? Senator, how is that a complete clear?
The attorney maintains his client is innocent and that the sexual encounter was consensual.
And she's a child of God, and she's 7 years old.
And she was,
glad
and
she's here.
you cheated on the mother of that child less than.
We need a story time from his baby mamas. That's what we need. Let's search for his baby mamas. I bet you one of them got a story time, and we're going to get to it.
2 months after that daughter was born, didn't you?
About this payment connected to a non-disclosure agreement that was signed in 2020 to keep this under locks.
And I'm so grateful for the marriage I have to this amazing woman behind me.
You've admitted that you had sex at that hotel in October 2017. You said it was consensual, isn't that correct?
Now, Hegseth also spoke to police, saying that he was buzzed but not intoxicated. He says the encounter was consensual.
Anything?
You've admitted that it was consensual, and you were still married, and you just had a child by another woman.
He also says the alleged victim initiated the encounter.
You have admitted that you had sex while you were married to wife 2 after you just had fathered a child by wife 3.
On the campaign told us that Trump is...
Man, he a ho-ho out here. He a ho-ho. Hey. I'm just saying, shit, ain't nothing wrong. Hey. You know, he the reason why men in this predicament anyway. Women don't like men right now because of people like Peter. You know what I'm saying? He out here just slanging it everywhere. Slanging it. Talking about, I gotta go on another work trip, honey. I'll see you tomorrow. I know I'm going to get some buzzing.
I'm not MAGA, please don't scroll. I have a moral compass and a soul. How do you feel about putting a foreign military on our domestic soil?
And I'm also proud that today we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. The location will be host a contingent of Qatari F-15s and pilots to enhance.
America, we got a problem. This regime is so out of control in what they're doing today. And I don't want to hear a single MAGA person say America first ever again. Because you support this regime. This unconstitutional, immoral, not even fiscally conservative in the basic definition of the word, and absolutely not Christian in their actions. Approving a foreign military to set up their own base on our domestic soil, making it their domestic soil. Just like all the embassies that are located in D.C., within the doors of those embassies, all of those people have diplomatic immunity because they are standing within their own domestic soil. So creating a foreign military base on our domestic soil is essentially giving away our own soil to another nation. But America first, right? America first, where people like J.D. Vance is the majority share owner of Acre Trader, which is also owned by Chinese interests, to go in and buy up farmers' lands, selling off more of America first domestic soil. And now we're putting a foreign military on our own soil? I don't give a shit if they're an ally or not. Hell, even during the Revolutionary War where France helped us, they didn't have their own base. Now we have for years and years and years brought in foreign allies' troops to train them, to support them within our own custody on our own bases. But in the history of our country, we have never had a foreign military base of operations within our domestic soil. There is nothing America first about this administration. And as we get closer to the files being released, you're going to see even more asinine and ludicrous behavior from this administration. But keep your heads up, the clock is ticking. And when I say we the people are going to clean house, you be damn sure I mean that.
There's a general understanding that you have taken possession of this Qatari aircraft, the 747. But there are public reports that Qataris have not yet signed a memorandum of understanding, which would specify that the agreement was initiated by the Trump administration, and Qatar is not responsible for any future transfers of the plane's ownership. Are you in possession of the Qatar airplane now?
Any specifics about future aircraft that could be Air Force One can't be discussed here, but
sure it can be
there
discussed
is a
here.
conversation about a memorandum of understanding. A memorandum of understanding remains to be signed, Senator.
You have signed a contract with there's a general understanding that you have signed a contract with a company to reconfigure the aircraft. What is the price of that contract?
That cannot be revealed in this setting. Sir.
Why can't it be revealed in this setting? Well, this is the Appropriations Committee of the United States Senate. We appropriate the money that you will spend after it's authorized by my committee. And you cannot tell us how much the contract is for?
You will have that number, Senator. It just can't be talked about.
We want it now. It's been signed. The contract has been signed, correct? The contract has been signed?
The memorandum of understanding is not complete, and
I'm
therefore
talking about the contract with the American contractor. Has it been signed?
It's nothing on that front that I'm aware of is being executed.
Well, that's contrary to what we've all heard. Second thing, what's the delivery time in the contract?
Again, the delivery time of anything of that sensitive nature is not for public consumption.
Can you tell me the delivery time for the Boeing aircraft that were being prepared for Air Force One? Was that in the contract?
One of the problems is that the way we actually procure aircraft in this country takes so long that when it's ordered, it's 7, 8, 9, 10 years late, requiring the necessity for a stopgap alternative.
Well, no. What you've just said is that the Boeing information was public knowledge. The delivery date, the cost overruns, but this is not. Because this is not only a bad deal for the American public, it is just it's gratifying the president's ego. That's all it is. There's a general understanding that you have taken.
Yeah, nobody's going to be forced to leave. No, it's just the opposite. This is a great plan. This is a great peace plan. This is a plan that was supported by everybody. I mean, as I said, they're dancing in the streets of many, many countries right now. It's amazing. I've never seen anything like it. No, we're not looking to do that at all.
You know, I've been monitoring this story for...
All right, well, that was our segment on Qatar. Was that informal? Oh, thank you. You know, I had to find me a new golf hat. I need to get one with an American flag on her because I need to come up with a slogan. It not like something as flashy as "Make America Great Again," but just like make YouTube politics great again. Cause that's where we're going. We're making YouTube politics great again. It's been crap. It's been crap. We have to listen to crap. We have to listen to false narratives, fake news, fake media. This is where you're gonna get the real deal. Yes, I bring a lot of news sources on here, but we actually listen to the people. We listen to people who break stuff down. We listen to the American people who really care about what's going on. We're not getting talking points. We're getting facts. Okay? We're getting information. And we having a good time. Ain't y'all having a good time? Now, before I go too long, because I want to talk about Letitia James. I want to take a phone call. I said I was going to do this, so before I take too long, because you know your boy be taking forever and ever. All right. I want to discuss this right here.
Listen, I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm not even saying you have to love it. But the government shutdown is the complete fault of the Democrats wanting illegal immigration to have free healthcare. Now, I'm really tired of just seeing stupidity in my comments and just...
Yeah, I will agree with you on that one. There is a lot of stupid going around.
the complete ignorant from the left in the past 2 videos, so I did the research for you. And I read Chuck Schumer's proposal to the Senate, as well as the acts that he was referencing in the big beautiful bill that Trump had passed. So let's go over it. So in Chuck Schumer's proposal in Section E, which I'll pull up over here if you read it, basically says that they want the big beautiful bill's federal cuts to be repealed, specifically under this certain act that is written in said big beautiful bill. Now, what's this act? Let's get into it.
All right, so I'm gonna let y'all know, if you want to call in. Don't be a fool. Don't be a fool. Okay? Call in and tell us what you think about this healthcare spending bill.
So the act, which I'll pull up here.
Okay, just so we're all clear and there's not any confusion, she's using the wrong word. There is no act inside of the big beautiful bill. That is the act. It's an act of Congress. It's a piece of legislation. So we're not talking about 2 pieces of legislation here. We're just talking about the big beautiful bill, okay? She's just using the wrong word.
Basically states that the federal government will be cutting funding from Medicaid, and that immigrants who are not documented, right, illegal immigrants that are undocumented, will not be eligible for Medicaid, meaning they were eligible for Medicaid before and now they're not.
First of all, if you are an undocumented immigrant, you are ineligible for Medicaid. You cannot apply for and then receive Medicaid. That's the current federal law. That was the current federal law before the one big beautiful bill passed. Second of all, I thought you told us that you read it, that you did the research for us so that we didn't have to. You said you read it. You didn't read it. Or if you did read it, you didn't comprehend it. So let's read it together, shall we? This is what you shared, right? This is what you shared, and you had highlighted, unless such an individual is, and then you also highlighted Section 3, an alien who has been granted the status, yada, 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 down there, right? This is what you're not understanding. Read the first part of this. In no event shall payment be made to a state under this section for medical assistance furnished to an individual unless such individual is, the first one, a resident of one of the 50 states, a citizen or national of the United States, an alien lawfully admitted for permanent residence. The next one, an alien who has been granted the status of Cuban and Haitian entrant as defined in section yada, yada, yada. And the last one, an individual who lawfully resides in the United States in accordance with Compact of Free Association referred to in section yada, yada, yada. You didn't read this. Let me break this down a little further. In order for you and your claim to be correct, in the provision of the bill that you shared on your screen, one of those bullet points would have had to have read, we, the Congress, are changing federal law to disallow undocumented immigrants from applying for and then receiving Medicaid coverage, right? Then you would be correct in saying, well, the Democrats want to repeal that provision and therefore want to give back undocumented immigrants the right to apply for and then receive Medicaid coverage. Then you would be correct, but it didn't say that in the provision that you shared. It doesn't say that anywhere in the one big beautiful bill because current federal law and federal law before the one big beautiful bill is such that undocumented immigrants are ineligible. They are not able to apply for and then receive Medicaid coverage. It's against the law. Undocumented immigrants, per federal law, do not have access to Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, even the Affordable Care Act. Now, in my opinion, should they? Yes, but that's not what congressional Democrats are asking for. They're not. Republicans are lying to you. It really is that simple. And they're going to keep doing that because they assume that you are too dumb to read anything. Stop proving them right. You guys are not dumb. But they think you are because you let them.
Listen, I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm not even saying you have to love it.
Well, I guess y'all really don't have nothing to say about it. If we all know as Americans what's going on, I kind of feel some type of way that, you know, no MAGA is standing up to this. No person in MAGA is having anything to say about what's going on. I thought y'all would have more to say. If you got anything to say about anything we spoke on today, but it specifically the healthcare spending. Anything? Is he a liar? I don't think he's a liar. I think he broke it down right. I mean, listen, what we understand is there is a loophole for immigrants to get health care through Medicaid. But that's only to pay the hospital so the hospital can be funded for the care that they provided. I don't think it's ongoing care. I think it's, but if they get a Medicaid number, then that immigrant may try to use that same Medicaid to go see the urgent care and stuff. So once they go there, they get the Medicaid to pay for the insurance, and now that person is in the system. And when they get looked up by the next medical facility, they say, oh, they received Medicaid for this treatment, so they should be able to receive Medicaid for this next treatment, whether it be emergency room, urgent care, prescription meds, whatever the case may be. So then they put that in. So now you're continuing this person to continue to receive government assisted Medicaid that will ultimately be paid by the American citizens for an illegal immigrant. And I think that is the major problem. Now, how do we fix that problem? That's the next question. Immigration reform is helping. Trump deporting illegal immigrants, that's helping the problem, but that's not solving the problem. The problem is if they take away that funding, that the healthcare facilities will have to place those costs on the American taxpayers anyway. The people who are paying for healthcare insurance, they have to bill them more anyway because they have to cover those costs that they incurred that they can't write off, basically bill Medicaid for. They have to charge the American citizens who do have insurance. And when they do, the American people, the insurance companies who are getting the money, they are billing the Americans more. So now our cost is rising. Your cost for your insurance, your Cigna, your United Healthcare, your Blue Cross Blue Shields, your ACA or Obamacare, whichever you prefer to call it, those are the people who will be paying for the increase. It's simple. But, or if you want to talk about MAGA, I could get MAGA Mike in here real soon, and we can talk about it. We can MAGA it up. Boy, I'll MAGA this thing to death. But I mean, if you want to come on and be real, I don't have to Jones with you. I just have to be. Y'all just got to be real with yourselves. Anyway, I don't think anybody want to be real tonight. Y'all want to keep playing the game. Let's get to Letitia James.
You know, I've been monitoring this story for several days. We knew that Donald Trump wanted Letitia James to be criminally charged. A source called me and said, it's happening. Basically, Halligan, we learned from multiple sources after that.
Bro, I don't know if I was just damn mute or not, but if I was, maybe I just muted my shit at the same time. But anyway, I had a horrible time with that the other night, and it was just frustrating.
That had presented evidence in the grand jury to criminally charge New York Attorney General Letitia James. And minutes later, after I went on air and broke that exclusive for MSNBC, I got another series of calls, and they basically said the grand jury has voted to indict her. This all went down quickly. I have been monitoring this for a while. We've been trying to figure out how was Lindsay Halligan, the U.S. Attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia, going to pursue these charges that Donald Trump wanted her to bring against Letitia James. So we've been talking to sources nonstop about this. At one point, someone told me Halligan is going to try to indict Tish James in Norfolk. Another person said it's going to be next week in Newport News. And then today, what we learned from our sources was a lot more solid. It's happening in Alexandria right now, and the grand jury is going to come out with its decision by 4 o'clock. It's no secret that Donald Trump has trumpeted that he believes a group of people he considers his enemies deserve to go to prison. He's referred to them as guilty as hell. He's referred to them as people that need to be prosecuted. He's claimed that America is embarrassed because the Department of Justice that he believes he runs has not criminally charged and prosecuted a long list of people. That includes former FBI Director Jim Comey, New York Attorney General Letitia James, Democratic Senator Adam Schiff, Democratic funder George Soros, even former President Barack Obama. MSNBC is going to be tracking this like a hawk, trust me. But what happens next is that Tish James appears in a federal courthouse in Norfolk before a federal judge, where she'll get to be arraigned, hear the charges against her, and Lindsay Halligan, the acting U.S. attorney, will be there as well. What's really interesting about this is we'll get to see who's representing the government, the Department of Justice. Will it once again be only Lindsay Halligan? Because most of the people involved in this case, career prosecutors who are trained to prosecute, concluded, in her office anyway, that there was not probable cause to bring this prosecution.
New York Attorney General Letitia James has been indicted by Donald Trump's Department of Justice on 1 count of bank fraud and 1 count of false statements to a financial institution. Now, this is one of those situations where basically everyone in the political world, anyone who's watching the news develop, saw this coming. And the reason is that the President of the United States explicitly, in writing, directed the Attorney General to indict his political opponents on obviously trumped-up charges. 19 days ago, Donald Trump posted this message on social media, quote, "Pam, I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially same old story as last time, all talk, no action. Nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adam Shifty Schiff, Letitia? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing is being done," adding, quote, "We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility. They impeached me twice and indicted me 5 times over nothing. Justice must be served now, President DJT." At the time, given how brazen that was, there was speculation that it must have been meant as a private directive to his AG to go after his enemies using the full tools of the Department of Justice. Well, now we know it was. According to the Wall Street Journal, quote, Trump meant to send a private message to Attorney General Pam Bondi urging her to prosecute former FBI Director James Comey and his other favored targets, according to U.S. officials familiar with the matter. Trump believed he had sent Bondi the message directly, addressing it to Pam, and was surprised to learn it was public, the officials said. Public or private, the message was received. Trump's U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia, that man there, a guy named Eric Siebert, was pushed out. Trump publicly called for him to leave because he did not believe there was sufficient evidence to charge Letitia James or James Comey. We've got reporting that there were even memos written to that effect by line attorneys. And then Siebert was promptly replaced by Trump's former personal attorney, Lindsay Halligan, who had zero previous experience as a prosecutor, never even tried a case. Now, it is not even clear if Halligan was legally appointed to the job she now putatively occupies in the first place, but she did get to work anyway and immediately indicted Comey, who was arraigned yesterday. And now today, Tish James. A sitting president doing this out in the open would have, I believe, ended the career of any president not named Trump. It's the biggest justice scandal we've seen in our lifetime. He is directly ordering the pretextual prosecutions of political critics, of people he doesn't like, in a ham-fisted, retaliatory, lawless fashion that violates the laws of the country, the letter of the Constitution, and the spirit of liberty. Putting your political opponents in jail because they are your opponents, not because of what they did, is the heart of tyranny. It is an obviously impeachable offense. New York.
Well, I mean, we've seen this over the last few weeks with James Comey, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon. It was another. It wasn't Colbert, but it was this. Oh shit. The other guy, they got him off there too. Now Letitia James, everybody can get it. You know, I ain't mad at Trump for keeping that same energy. I ain't mad at him. We knew it. We knew it was happening. We knew it. We knew exactly what was going to happen. We knew Trump was coming when he did this tour. This is the equivalent of Kobe Bryant playing his last year in the NBA. He coming back for everybody. Trump about to score 81 on somebody. He trying to score 81 on somebody. Okay, let's be honest, man. This is what we expected. A lot of people not gonna say it, but this is what we expected from Trump. Well, maybe some people will say it, but it's too late. It's too late. We didn't think we thought we was gonna get a presidency, and instead we're getting a, I don't know what to call it. It's kind of like somebody undo. It's just the undoing of everything that has been done. Mind you, he said verbatim, "I'm going to undo every Democratic policy placed in the last 4 years." He said that. I'm going to undo everything they've done. Everything. I'm taking it away. I don't want it. It doesn't need to happen. That's what he said. So, in a sense, it's like, yo, even though the Biden presidency wasn't like the best, or even like, it wasn't even like average. It wasn't even average. But to undo things that were done for American people, that American people benefited from, is crazy. But I do understand that a lot of things that were done were being taken advantage of by what we are now saying as illegal immigrants. But also, when you have immigration problems in Denver, Colorado, Portland, Chicago, where ICE agents have to come there, you know why they're there? Because those illegal immigrants came in through Texas. What did Texas do? They bust everybody to those Democratic cities. They bust illegals to those cities. Then, now Texas is sending their National Guards to those same cities. Does that make any sense? It was a plan. It was like, well, so we can have a reason to invade this city with the National Guard. That was the plan. That was a hell of a plan. That's something that was thought out long term. It was like, this is a long term game. Let's bust the illegals to these democratic cities. Then let's push a campaign of the illegal violence and drug selling in those cities. These cities are burning down. These cities, the gun control, all that. And then let's send in the National Guard to combat these cities. Let's show that we can clean these cities up. Because they could have cleaned it up in Texas. But instead, they sent them over to Chicago, to Memphis, to Portland, to Oakland. They sent them to the Democratic cities so they could then turn around and invade those cities. That's a hell of a plan. That's like, Pinky and the Brain. What are we going to do now, Brain? We're trying to take over America. Genius. Shit sucks, though. It sucks for the American people because look at the stance that we had. Our government is shut down because of this crap.
I know that you have known Tish James for a long time. So first, just your response to the news today.
Tish James is a strong, brilliant, courageous, faithful, and patriotic woman and a great attorney general. And it's a shame that she's being victimized in this way by Donald Trump and his corrupt Department of Justice. We're in the midst of a Trump-caused government shutdown. The military is on the verge of not being paid, notwithstanding the fact that our men and women in uniform continue to put their lives on the line. We have a Republican healthcare crisis that is devastating people all across the country, and Donald Trump could care less. The Republicans, who are sycophants in the House and the Senate, could care less. Instead, they're focused on bringing baseless charges and weaponizing the Department of Justice against perceived political adversaries.
I know that you have known Tish James.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. The president's actions are a grave violation of our constitutional order and have drawn sharp criticism from members of both parties. His decision to fire a United States attorney who refused to bring charges against me and replace them with someone who is blindly loyal not to the law, but to the president, is antithetical to the bedrock principles of our country. This is the time for leaders on both sides of the aisle to speak out against this blatant perversion of our system of justice. I stand strongly behind my office's litigation against the Trump Organization. We conducted a 2-year investigation based on the facts and evidence, not politics. Judges have upheld the trial court's finding that Donald Trump, his company, and his 2 sons are liable for fraud. I'm a proud woman of faith, and I know that faith and fear cannot share the same space. And so today, I'm not fearful. I'm fearless. And as my faith teaches me, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. We will fight these baseless charges aggressively and my office will continue to fiercely protect New Yorkers and their rights. And I will continue to do my job.
Carol, explain the.
I mean, we understand what's going on, man. We got to break down the legalities of it. I don't know the full scope of what's going on. This just happened a day ago. So, of course, in maybe a day or two, we'll be able to break down, or somebody will break it down, and we will definitely go in depth about what's going on with Letitia James. I mean, mind you, she's from New York. Okay? She's from New York. You know? It's a lot of corruption coming from New York. You got Letitia James. You got Chuck Schumer. You got Donald Trump. You got AOC. You got, shit. Who else we got? Tekashi 6ix9ine. Shit, everybody. Maybe we need to just ban New York from the U.S. Let's ban New York from the U.S. We don't need them no more because they fucking up. Okay, we just gonna get rid of New York as a whole. Okay, because everything that happens in New York is crazy. But you know what's crazy? I remember the first Trump presidency. Donald Trump spent approximately 3 of the 4 years either in Trump Towers in New York City, which New Yorkers hated, or in Mar-a-Lago. Hardly ever did he ever spend any time at the White House doing his job. He spent more time on the golf course than he did in the White House. He spent more, I've been to New York. I've been in New York. You know what? You want me to tell you my New York story? I got pictures all around New York. Girl, I've been all around the world. I've been all around the world. And I'm the least likeliest person that you would ever think to have been all around the world, and I'm not in the military. Okay? I am I don't want to tell all my business, but I've been to prison before. And I was a student at the University of Oklahoma, Boomasuna, and I've been to about countless countries. I've held one of the top spots in shipping in the world, Craig, in the world. Going around speaking to oil and gas billionaires. Everybody be like, "Oh, you stupid, you don't know shit." I just act this way. I don't need y'all goddamn approval. I just act this way. But at the same time, I've been in New York. New York is disgusting. The only thing I liked about New York is the shopping. I could go get the shoes I wanted. But it was a terrible city. Terrible. It was so terrible, I realized I didn't even want to watch the news out there. I was like, I don't even want to turn on the news. This is horrible. I get on a train and some homeless lady was like, "Everybody shut up. Everybody shut up." I live on this train and I need $1. Man, I had my earbuds in, and this when he was wired. I act like I didn't even hear her. I was like, she better not come up here. She better not come up here. I was terrified for my life in New York. I put my wallet in my front pocket in New York. I was like, these people are rude. Somebody tried. This dude came to me with a CD, a rap CD. He said, "Hey man, what's up? You want to get my rap CD?" I was like, "Nah, I'm good." He's like, "Man, here, take a look at it." And he handed it to me. He was like, "All right, give me $5." I said, "Nigga, what? Hey man, take this back." He said, "Nah, man, you already got it, man. Just give me $5 for it." I was like, "Man," I'm fighting back with him, trying to give him his stupid ass CD back. And I was just like, "Man, here's $5, man. Get out of my face." I was kind. First of all. Then second, the worst pizza in the world is in New York City. I will never eat pizza in New York City. I don't give a damn how big your slice is. I don't give a damn how big your slice of pizza is. That slice of pizza was so damn big and dry and nasty, and I was just like, what? And then not only that, I was like, it was so nasty. I said, "Can I get some ranch with this?" They knew immediately. "You from the South, ain't you?" I said, "Yeah, I want this nasty ass shit. I got a big the crust on the damn pizza was that goddamn big. The piece was that damn long." I was like, how am I supposed to eat this? I'm walking. I ain't got no, you ain't give me no napkins or nothing. Just a big ass slice of pizza on a paper plate. Paper plate was hella greasy. I was utterly disgusted when I went to New York. New York City. Okay? I've been there. Multiple times. And you know what? Every time after 3 o'clock, I took my black ass out of New York City. And I went back to where I was supposed to be going. But I go to New York. I travel. I went to Twin Towers. No, Twin Towers wasn't there no more. But I went to the one tower, whatever. And I went to the Twin Towers where they was at. I've been to what do they call it? Wherever the Knicks play. I've been there. I've been to Times Square multiple times. I've been to Macy's, Saks on Fifth Ave. I've been to all that shit. I've been to Central Park Central. The shit I seen in Central Park Station, or whatever the hell that's called, the main train station, was beyond me. I went to Central Park. And there was a lot of shit going on. And I didn't know Central Park was that big, but I went to one side of Central Park. I rode the train to the other side of Central Park, and I went in at the other side. That's how big Central Park is. You don't want to walk it, trust me. It's not walkable. It's not something that you want to walk. I did. Shit. Y'all lucky we didn't have social media. Did we have social media back then? Yeah, we had social media back then, but I wasn't posting my daily life because I was doing big shit back then. I was doing big shit. But yeah, I've been in New York. One of the best places I've been in the world, the very best place I've been in the world is Amsterdam. If you want to go somewhere, go to Amsterdam. In fact, on my 45th year of my life, I'm going to live in Amsterdam. So if you just take my word for it, go to Amsterdam. You'll love it. Japan, lovely. Greece, trash. Greece is New York times 10. Trash. Okay? Don't ever go to Greece. You be like, if you look at the pictures on Greece, you be like, oh look, this place looks nice. You got the rent a place over the mountains and you looking over at the ocean or the Mediterranean and you like, oh, this look beautiful. That shit was trash. People trying to rob you and con you everywhere you looked. Egypt, trash. I get to talk about all these places. Trash. San Francisco, trash. I was like, damn. I went to be in the most worst places in the world. I thought these places, you see these places on TV every day, you be like, oh my God, these places are so nice. Trash. San Francisco was the worst. It was the most beautifulest, ugly city in the world. If you looking at San Francisco from the ferry, you be like, oh my God, look at God. God does such amazing things. But once your ass is on in the middle of San Francisco, you be like, yeah. Hey, let me tell y'all what happened in Amsterdam. Somebody said Amsterdam got that weed. Melissa said that. Let me tell y'all what happened. So I went to Amsterdam and I went to a weed spot where you could eat and smoke weed. Oh, I went to a coffee parlor, got some weed, and they keep it in like Glad Tupperware. They don't even have like jars. They just keep it in Glad Tupperware. But anyway, everybody in there smoking. I'm like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. And then I toke a little bit. I go get me something to eat. And people toking. I'm like, all right. Then they got this other stuff that sit on the table that you mix with the weed because the weed is potent. It's like potent. So they like, you mix this other stuff that look like weed, but it's not really weed. And you mix it in and you roll it up and you smoke it. And I was sitting there talking to these people that was from the UK, and they was like, yeah, man, America's bad, man. It was, y'all got guns and stuff. And I said, man, America ain't that bad. I mean, then I look up what happened in America today, and goddamn, it was a kid in Florida who shot up a Madden football tournament because he lost. And I was like, damn. I said, that's Florida though. They different. That's like America, but that's like America's like, Florida different. Like that ain't just like all of America. Shit be happening in Florida I can't explain. But that was crazy. The dude shot up, and y'all can look that up, and the dude just shot up the Madden tournament, and you'll know exact day I was there. And then I was smoking with him, and then I got on the train. I met a woman from Germany and Poland who we was just talking and chopping it up. And then I was so inebriated, and they was like, yeah, you want to come hang out with us? All I could think about was hostile. I had hostile in my mind. I said, these bitches trying to take they trying to take my organs. Because what is the bitch from Poland and Germany doing together? And you from Poland, you from Germany, and y'all just hanging out. They finna take my damn organs. So needless to say, I did not do that. And then I got to my hotel. The lady in my hotel was from Afghanistan. I was like, oh shit, you can't come. And she was fine. But I was like, you can't come to America. Your ass is grass. Anyway, I was so high, I flushed all my weed. I was like, I can't get caught with this shit. It's legal. It was legal. But I flushed it because I was that high and paranoid. Yeah. So, if you... This is true facts. I had an amazing time every time I went there. But once I learned, the culture, it was all good. But that was the first time I was like, But that's what it is. Anyway, everyday people. I told you I've been all around the world. Y'all wouldn't think this because I do this shit, but I be in these streets, cuz. But hey, thank you guys. Thank you for supporting the channel. We definitely gonna get back on. We're gonna touch on Charlie Kirk. We got some more Charlie Kirk. Make sure y'all watch the drama-filled videos in the morning. Make sure y'all watch the live playback videos, man. Show some love to the political videos. Share them out to your friends. But we gonna keep it lit. Thank y'all for watching. I'm turning in. Actually, I ain't even finna turn in. It's 10 o'clock. I might just go to Texas tonight. Shit. That's just what it is. Cause Boomer Sooner, we in this thing. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll holler at y'all later. Good night. Shout out to Poland. I love Poland. I'm gonna go backpacking. I'm gonna go backpacking in Europe next. I already know how to go backpacking out there. I'm gonna hit up all them countries. You can go to all them countries for about $60 and be in every country in Europe. That's how y'all know. Y'all think I be bullshitting. I be knowing this shit, man. I've been around the world. I can't find my baby. I don't know why. When I show y'all what's behind this screen, y'all gonna be like, damn, PJ, oh, you lit, cuz, on the set. We gonna get it. We gonna keep it lit, man. We gonna keep it funky. I just gotta put up my lights and stuff. It's a lot of shit going into production behind this screen because I'm done with the green screen. I'm finna show y'all what's lit. We're finna really get lit though, for real. For real. For real, for real. Okay? Shout out to Urban Girl and Melissa and Joker TV, man. Y'all shout them out in the chat. They've been wonderful all night, every night. Cause shit, what would the chat be without them, baby? They keep it lit. Shout out to Melody and Infinity. Y'all pulled up, keeping it lit. But shout out to everybody else who came through and kept it lit. Shout out to all y'all, everybody. If I didn't mention you, I still love you. I still see you. I appreciate y'all all day long. All day long. So